All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. I always like to do a quick recap of the previous week. Last week was pretty stellar. Had Mitchell Trubisky do really well. Kind of came in the clutch. Was on Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs. The only flaw that we had was Austin Eckler, but was on James Robinson, who obviously had a pretty solid week. He was a solid pivot from Antonio Gibson, and then receiver wise hit pretty well. You guys might have had Jamison Crowder that vaulted some of your lineup weeks last week, so hope you guys had a good week. Oh, and Logan Thomas, my favorite value tight end last week, ended up scoring a touchdown. Ended up doing well. Dallas Goedert obviously kind of broke the slate at the tight end spot, and then even on the live stream hit on some nice values. Hit on our lock bets as well. If you guys didn't watch that video, you should watch that weekly. Hazy hit on Seattle as his lock bet, and then I had the Packers as well. I thought they would win by a touchdown, so I told you to bet accordingly, and that hit as well. So really solid week one. We're looking to continue that in week two. So as always, we'll start off with the running backs here. So my favorite running back is actually going to be a guy that scored a touchdown week one. And, Philip Lindsay did get injured, and that's going to help Melvin Gordon out a ton. And because of Philip Lindsay's injury, Melvin Gordon is just way too cheap at his current price point. Yeah, sure, he's going against Pittsburgh. It's a tough defense, but Gordon's going to be the offense. He's going to get, at least 20 opportunities next week. And at that price point, that's just something you really can't pass up. So we're going to go with Melvin Gordon. We'll go up a little bit. If you guys want to go with Eckler, I think he'll be a little bit more involved this week. It's going to be hard to imagine him not being involved. But Jonathan Taylor, so he's going to be the RB number one. That's already came out and been confirmed. If you just put in some more than max touches, which, would have went to Taylor instead, now that they have only two running backs. Taylor scored 14.9 DK points, splitting the workload. Now, he might not get that many receptions next week, but he also does have Phillip Rivers as his quarterback. It's just hard to imagine Jonathan Taylor, who I thought was the best rookie running back coming into the draft. It's hard to imagine him not being able to at least hit value at this price point, and he could easily score a touchdown going against the Vikings, who really just did not look like a good defense last week. It seems like you can attack them however which way you really want to. And then on the top end, I think Ezekiel Elliott, he's the cheapest one out of this group, and I would just pay up for him if you can. Yes, he's priceless, though, because he played on Monday night, and we can kind of take advantage of that. So I would say play Zeke there at that running back spot. But I will mention James Robinson once again this week. If you didn't watch his film, go back and rewatch it. The guy was electric. He jumped over someone and then picked up 5 more yards. Some of the best film from a rookie running back last week. You could argue it was the best. I wouldn't make that argument, but it is close. It is a topic of discussion. Obviously, he played 80% of the snaps, 17 opportunities, caught a pass. He could even catch more passes. He's not a bad pass catcher out of the backfield. I'm going to continue to hammer James Robinson until he's at least priced above 5,000. If he's going to be getting that workload, I love it. All right, moving on to the receivers now. Just keep plugging and playing. Devontae Adams, I don't know. I just really don't get DraftKings with their pricing. The whole MT thing too as well. I don't feel bad for people that drafted Michael Thomas in the first round and are missing him now in fantasy football league drafts because Adams was going in the mid-second round. What were people doing with that? Adams and MT are the exact same player. It didn't make sense. You had Julio and Tyreek going in the second round. I don't feel bad for people that drafted MT, but now we get Adams at 8,000, which really not too crazy of a price point. He could easily get 24 points at that salary, 26 points, and 3x at that salary, so I do like him quite a bit at that price point. Let's drop low. Drop it low. Just kidding. Allen Robinson here. Don't mind him. 9 targets, 12.3 DK points. Maybe it's going to be a statement week for him and the Bears. I think he's going to get force-fed because of kind of the news that broke this week. Even before the news broke that week, I was already going to be targeting him. The Giants got beat up via the pass game, so I do like Robinson quite a bit, especially at that price point. Go ahead and play him. If you don't want to play Robinson, I do like Anthony Miller once again this week. I know I played him last week. I think you guys should play him again. And then, I don't want to play too many Colts in the same build, especially a running back and receiver, but T.Y. Hilton does seem like he's going to get more involved this week going against the Minnesota Vikings. I already touched on it. It's going to be a team that I think I want to attack, especially via passing game. 9 targets last week, 9.3 DK points. That seems like a really great price point for someone that could easily score a touchdown this week, and we're not going to be surprised at all if he goes out and does that. One more play, Preston Williams. Yeah, he didn't do that well last week. 7 targets, though, and that's the key thing, especially with Vontae Parker looking like he's going to sit. still like Preston Williams once again this week. The opportunities were there. Let's see if he can convert those into a good week. That's really it for me at the receiver spot right now. That could change as the week goes on, as always. Now let's move on into the tight end spot. So Logan Thomas, I think, is still pretty cheap. I don't mind him. Again, let me type it in. Like 3.6, yes, it's a lot more than we paid for him last week, but he got the most targets in the offense, and that's kind of been the news coming out of training camp. That's why I was on him last week. So he seems to be Haskins' number one go-to target. So I'm going to be targeting him again this week in DFS. 3.6, I'll take that any day of the week for a guy that's going to get that involved in the passing game. Then Eric Ebron does seem like another safe play again this week. You can roll with that. Dawson Knox, I do want to point out, he should have had a touchdown. Josh Allen missed him on a pretty wide open touchdown. He actually missed two people on wide open touchdowns, but I like him at that price point as well. And then Jordan Atkins, he was a lot more involved in the passing game than I thought he would be. I thought it would be Darren Fells. That was kind of the shocker. He played a lot more snaps. Yes, he only had 2 targets, but I think he's a fine play at that price point. I would rather go with Logan Thomas, though. All right, let's pivot over into the quarterbacks. We'll try to wrap up this build here for you. So I already mentioned it. Josh Allen, yes, he had some accuracy issues on a couple of touchdown passes, but he scored 33 DK points. I'm not sure why he's priced as, was he the fifth highest priced quarterback? He should probably be number 1 with the way he played last week and with his opponent, the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, Cam Newton just ran all over them, and Cam looked good, but Cam has lost a step. Josh Allen is not. Josh Allen is faster. He can run a little bit more, and if anything, the Patriots gave the Bills the path to success against the Miami Dolphins. You can run a lot with a running quarterback against them, and I think Josh Allen might be able to do that. He might even be able to score a touchdown with his legs as well, so I really like him as a play. Kyler Murray seems like a safe play. If you guys want to play him, you can go with that. Mitchell Trubisky I will bring up again. He was a play that we were on last week just because of his price point, and once again this week I'm going to be on him because of his price point. Once again, I think the Giants, they got beat up via the passing game. They gave up some big plays, so I don't mind stacking Mitchell Trubisky and Allen Robinson. That's going to be a good path for you. And then Phillip Rivers. So, I don't want to go with JT, T.Y. Hilton, and Phillip Rivers in the same build, but Rivers passed it 46 times last week. Yes, he had 2 INTs. Those were bad. He probably should have had 3 INTs. But on DraftKings, he still had 19.8 DK points. I already touched on it. I think the Vikings are going to be a team that we can attack pretty aggressively this week. So, with the bonuses there with Phillip Rivers, given the matchup, I think he could easily score 30 DK points and 1 surprises whatsoever. So, put Hilton into the build here. Don't want that game. Put Hilton into the build here. We'll finish it up if it lets me. Obviously, you need to make some adjustments. You could easily drop. Let's just do it real quick for you guys. First look, build, and core plays video. Look at what 9-to-5 is doing for you guys. We are giving you it all here. James Robinson. And then you got defense here. I do like the Rams. If I could fit them in there, I would want to do that. So Rams are probably going to be my core play defense this week, just so you guys know. But that is the week 2 NFL DFS core plays video for you. If you enjoyed the video, there's going to be more of this to come throughout the whole season. Hope you guys can continue to cash with 9-to-5. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing. We're out.